back to That Dad Guy. It's May 20th, 2023. It's Saturday, so it's the day that I answer your questions. The only exception to that is on the first Saturday of each month, I give you a question and give you a month to respond by sending me a postcard with your answer. And then the following Saturday, or the following first Saturday, excuse me, I read those answers out. So I have a question for May for you. I'll tell you at the end of the video, recap it again. I've gotten some responses in already, so very happy about that. And then the first Saturday in June, I will read those responses. All right, let's get to today's questions, and then we'll make sure that you guys are all subscribed, like, and comment. If you do so, I appreciate it. And comment certainly on the Saturday video. If you can include a question on them, then they'll get answered next week. All right, the first one I have comes from Zachary in the United States. He says, was curious about what is Canada Post's process for handling damaged mail or undeliverable mail? All right, from my point of view, as a letter carrier or as a rural mail carrier, when a letter or a parcel arrives to me and the address one is incomplete, maybe they put the street name on it but didn't put the street number on it, a parcel I will give to another desk and they will try to find out what the number is and then get the parcel back to me. A letter, I can do the same thing with that. Otherwise, we will put a line through the address that is sent to and put RTS, return to sender, and maybe incomplete address, and then that letter will get sent back to the person to try to put the proper address. The same thing if someone puts the wrong number on the address. Maybe they meant to put 87 Smith Street and they put 78 Smith Street. What I'll first do is I'll look through all the mail that I have that day for those particular addresses and see if I can find names that will match. So that's my due diligence of what I'm trying to do to make sure that that letter gets to where it belongs the first time. Now, if it shows up and it doesn't have a street number at all on the letter, it becomes a lot harder because I might have 500 people that live on that street. So that's when it would go to the other desk to see if they can try to find a proper answer. And if they can't find a proper answer, then it will go be returned to sender. Now, if a parcel arrives damaged, but the address is legible, then in an envelope, if it's torn or something like that, we try to put it in a envelope or a plastic bag, and on it it says, sorry that your letter has been damaged in process, and then there's a number to call in case there was something missing inside of it. Maybe someone sent a necklace in an envelope and the envelope got ripped and somewhere along the way the necklace fell out. Then they have a 1-800 number where they can go in and try to get claims for it. Something like that might happen. Otherwise, we just want them to let them know that we're sorry that a machine kind of chewed up an envelope. Sometimes that happens, or maybe it got wet along the way. So if it's really damaged in the point where contents might fall out, we put it into that bag. If it's just kind of like torn a corner, it might not go in a bag. It may just go in the mailbox as is. A parcel, if it gets crushed or is opened, it might go in that bag. I certainly had people that have bought like Wine of the Month Club, and a bottle of wine has gotten smashed and it's just seeped through. So sometimes that goes in a bag and goes to the customer like that. Otherwise, we will return it to sender and say, you know what, we're not even going to deliver this to the customer. It doesn't look good, and they're not going to want a box of broken glass with soggy wine everywhere, so we're going to send it back. So there are options for us to do it that way. Now, if something arrives and it doesn't have a return address, then it goes to our dead mail zone. So if you send a postcard and you don't normally put your return address on it, but the address that you put is incorrect, then that's going to be mail that's going to get lost. If it can't be, they're going to try to do their best to find out where it does go, but if they can't, then it will go to our dead mail zone. And eventually that mail, I guess, will have to be destroyed because we can't save it forever. So hopefully that answers your question, Zachary. Maybe it's the same as they do in the United States. I'm sure that they're very similar processes in the postal services around the world, and we do our best to try to get it to you, but sometimes it just doesn't make it. All right, the next question I have comes from Amber, also in the United States, and I guess I missed a question she had posted a week prior. She says, what are your favorite non-Canadian stamps? If you're wondering what country I prefer stamps from, I don't really have a preference. I have been enjoying stamps the different shape stamps that come out of Japan. I enjoy the size and the artwork of the stamps that come out of China and Russia. They do a great job with creating an image. Recently I did a video about Ukrainian stamps that have come out during the war and the stories that go along with them. I'm starting to really appreciate the stories behind the stamps almost as much as I appreciate the stamp itself. So it's just a matter of learning that story. But the ones that always come to my attention the most are ones that are in unusual shapes or very colorful. So I had a massive one that came from China a couple weeks ago. It was very blue, very vibrant mountain and the clouds, and a really incredible stamp. Really like that one. I probably have some older stamps that I enjoy seeing, some of the early US stamps that are almost just two-toned, but very detailed images on them are really nice. Same with the British ones. There's a lot of early ones like that. So yeah, I don't know if I have a preference of a favorite stamp that's non-Canadian. And I don't even think that, Canadian stamps are my favorite. I don't know. Stamps in general around the world is just kind of fascinating. So thank you, Amber. Let's go on. What do we have? Okay, Ashley K. Journals says, have you ever been to a post-crossing meetup? If you have, what was it like to go into one? So yes, last summer we had our first post-crossing meetup set up here. Sophia from Montreal came down and she established one for New Brunswick, one for Nova Scotia, and one for Prince Edward Island. I was able to attend the one here in Moncton, here in New Brunswick, and then go 2 days later to the one that was in PEI, Prince Edward Island. And yeah, they were fantastic. Not a lot of people at them, but it was the first time that we've ever had a meetup here. So it was a time where you could get together, trade stories with other post-crossers. We all stamped our cards or wrote our names on the cards. The cards were provided by Sophia. She printed them up. We bought however many we wanted to have, and then we stamped them all there. And then some people went off to the post office and mailed them off right away, had them all dressed up and ready to go. That's what some people like to do, so the cancellation is of that day. What else do we have? We had postcards that you could swap with. People brought postcards and you could go through and pick up some different ones. There was a few prizes that could be won at different things, stickers that were there. Yeah, I'm sure it depends on the meetup, what things you have going on, and depends on how many people show up. So if there's 50 people that show up at a meetup, you're going to be exhausted stamping all those cards for all those 50 people. Our meetups were kind of 10 people or less because it was very new, but really enjoyed them. Do we have a meetup this summer? I know Sophia's coming and doing one in Newfoundland this summer, but I don't know that there are any planned for New Brunswick this year around. Yeah, I don't know. It may be quiet. I may have to get on board and try to do something in the future. Probably not this summer, though, because it's quite busy. And it is a very time-consuming, so I really appreciated the effort that Sophia did to putting them, coming down here, going to all of them. She did a fantastic job. So, Ashley, if you get a chance to go to a post-crossing meetup, it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. All right, what else do we have? Wendy here in Canada says, what annuals do you plant each year? So when it comes to gardening, I don't plant annuals. They're very beautiful and very nice, but the thought process about paying for a plant that is only going to last one season is not in my mindset. I plant perennials, and they've got to survive. I'm a tough gardener, so I plant them out there and hope they do well. I'll give them fertilizer and nutrients and water them. But year to year, hopefully they return and they spread. I've got some nice tulips that are coming up, and tulips are great because they split apart and you get more tulips. So you can have an initial investment and they will last for beauty for a long time. So I'm more inclined to plant those and daffodils and things like that I will see color every year from, rather than the magnificence of color one year and then have it gone and have to pay for it again the following year. And I do have a few plants that haven't survived, that I haven't given enough attention to along the way. So that becomes costly too. When you put some money out into your plants and you don't give them the attention they deserve, then you've kind of wasted that investment. So as much as I enjoy seeing annuals in people's gardens, I go by and they're just absolutely beautiful. I just can't be bothered to invest in 1 year after another in the same plants. So, sorry, no annuals here, all perennials. And I think that is my last question. So, your job now is to leave me a question in the comments, and I'll answer it again next week. Now, I do want to go over the question for the month of May. So the month of May, I asked, what is your favorite game to play and why? Could be a board game, a card game, a video game, etc. Whatever you happen to be into. And you can send your response to the address that's in the description of the video. And I will read that card answer on the first Saturday in June, which looks like it'll be the 4th of June this year. 4th? No, 3rd of June. So that's when we have that to look forward to. So we got a few more weeks to get some responses in and add to the ones I have already. And then I think we'll have another good video. Looking forward to that. Now, today I have some things to do. Hopefully, I'm thinking we're going down and seeing Princess Anne, who is in town. There's going to be a little bit of a parade and thing going on, so I may go down and check that out. If I do, I may bring you along and shoot a video if there is something to be shot. And then we're planning for my brother's arrival tomorrow night. And then my parents come over on Monday, and my sister and family come up from St. John on Monday, and we'll have a bit of a barbecue for Victoria Day. And there's no work on Monday because it's a holiday here. So hopefully you guys have a good weekend and lots of things planned. If you're watching this in the future, hopefully whatever day it happens to be, enjoy it to the best. Have a magical week.
What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye.